adapting, and you can either be a part of it, leverage it, or watch it go by. I think the other thing I took away was the natural state of business is attrition. And if you're not pushing forward, you're declining, you're falling backwards. The next time you hear someone use the phrase like a boss, feel free to say, excuse me, I need to correct you on this. It's like a Kristen boss. She was awesome. She was so good. Okay. Now we're going to go from Kristen to two of our sales leaders who are leveraging modern social media in their business and do just an incredible job. First up, we have Steffi Kogler. Steffi comes to us from Austria. Let's hear it from our European friends, those from Europe. So before doing Nu Skin, Steffi was a professional golfer. She traveled and played on the European tour until she was 26. She's been doing Nu Skin for 13 years and currently lives in Dubai, which I'm sure she was so excited when we announced the Dubai team lead trip. But she is Circle of Excellence 2, a 3-star team elite platinum, a 7-year team elite, and a 1-year ambassador. Now, following Steffi, we're going to hear from a new leader from the U.S. named Bree Stone. Make some noise. Go. So Bree is bringing that aloha spirit from Hawaii. She started the business fresh out of college, right as she finished playing as a D1 athlete, softball for the University of Hawaii. I asked her upline to give me a few points about Bree. What should I know about her? And they said Bree is the definition of Joe's plan B. She goes all in. She's constantly self-assessing to figure out how she can get to the lead from the front and inspires those around her to do their best as well. And since she joined the business and qualified for her first success trip, she has not missed a single one and just closed as a new diamond in the business. So everyone, we're here for two powerhouse speakers, but I need everyone to get on your feet, stand up, make some noise, and please welcome Stephanie Goldberg.
Good morning, Nu Skin family. How are you? How is everybody? I'm so excited to speak to you about today about social media marketing and how you can use social media marketing to grow and expand your business. Because when I started this business 13 years ago, I was 25. I was a professional golfer and I had no prior experience with social media, with marketing, with sales, or whatsoever. So I was actually really scared and shy, and I was never like to speak in front of people. So when I started this business, I didn't think I would use social media at all to build my business. Because in reality, athletes back then didn't have to promote themselves. So when I started, I really went the classical way of walking and talking and building business on trade shows. And I really didn't believe social media would help me market and grow a stable business. But now, 13 years later, I can tell you, I couldn't have been more wrong. Looking back, now being 7 years team elite, at least 50% of the business we do, I can track back to our performance on social media. So I started from scratch and I made so many mistakes. And that's why I'm here today, because I want to share with you 3 mistakes I did, which I learned from and hope you can use to grow and expand your business on social media. So my first learning is, and you can shut this down if you want, facts tell, stories tell. By that I mean, in the beginning, what I would show on social media is facts, product labels, ingredients, I would just try to be a scientist and explain everything in detail. But nobody really was catching on to it. So I heard this quote, facts sell, stories sell, and I really took it to heart. What I started to show is me using the product, showing my results, and I would show transformations. And I developed a formula. It's the BBA formula. Before, between, after. What that means, I'll explain to you. I would show myself the problems I used to have with my skin or body. How did I feel with that problem, or what was the desire? Then I would show myself using the product, and I would keep this very small and short, leave gaps for curiosity, leave people guessing and wanting to know more. And then I would show the after. So before, between, after. And I would show results and I would share emotion. All of a sudden, people started to catch on. So that's a really important learning. Really focus on fact, tell, stories, tell. The second thing I learned is building relationships online. I thought if I just make call to actions, people will say, oh, where can I buy? Where can I sign up? I was thinking that way as well in the beginning. Call to action will do the deal. Yeah. So, and yes, it will work. You will find customers, you will find business partners, but in reality, this is not how it works. What I started is reaching out to my community, building friendships by asking questions, finding common grounds. Watch out for who's liking you, who's commenting, who is watching your stories, and then start interacting. What you will also find is that it's a filter. There's a mass of people out there, and you cannot work with everybody. You cannot help everybody. But by getting to know people, you can filter also who is more a potential customer and who is more a business partner long term. That's learning number 2. My third learning was my biggest learning though. And it came right in the pandemic where I decided I have to double up on my social media. I decided I would go live, do stories, reels, posts every single day. I made a commitment. I did, instead of 5 reach outs a day, I did 20 or 30. So the momentum kicked in after a few months. Reels went viral, and I signed up sometimes 100 people or more a month. New customers, new business partners, even being already team lead, just myself. The volume went up, but it didn't stabilize and it didn't grow as it did before. Why? What was my mistake? I found a shortcut. Because I just signed people up, and usually I would take it offline as fast as I could and really develop people, work with them. I thought if I just sign up enough people, they would just develop themselves. I couldn't have been more wrong. So my third learning is take it offline as fast as you can. Build relationships with your customer, with your business partners, because they're really just babies starting the business, starting their customer journeys. And if you don't develop them, you don't know their problems, their roadblocks, and you can't advance them. And you will start over and over again. So in conclusion, I want to say Robert Kiyosaki writes in his book, The Cash Flow Quadrant. You can build this business like any other business, any other job. It starts from scratch every month again. It's like carrying water buckets every time if you're thirsty. Or you decide to build a long-term business. develop your customers, develop your business partners, and build the pipeline like he explains in his book. I think if we decide to really be visible on social media, build our community, and then take people offline as fast as we can, you can really build a solid, stable business. So I hope you decide. I hope you're all in on this. And thank you so much.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage Diamond Director Bree Soma.
What's up, beauty? Awesome, awesome. You know what's so funny is that coming from Hawaii, I had absolutely no desire to be a youth. But now that I'm a part of New Skin, I am doing literally everything in my power to be here as many times as I can. It's an incredible honor to be standing on stage and to be here with all of you, sharing a little bit about my life and journey with New Skin. So when corporate emailed me, I was at work, I started shaking, my hand was doing a little dance, and I wanted to ball up at my desk. Then I see a text come through from Ricky, quote unquote, heard you're speaking at live. I can't say no to Ricky, so looks like I'm speaking out loud. So yes, truly an honor to be here. A little bit about me is I'm from a tiny island in the middle of the Pacific called Oahu. Wow. If you have not been to Hawaii, please come and visit. Begins with you, Team Hawaii. So I'm born and raised there, and I began my New Skin journey in June of 2021. At the time, I was graduating with my bachelor's and my master's in economics. Okay, can I get a show of hands? Who here has just had a grand master plan for their life? You just flopped. You thought you were going to get married by this age, travel here by this year. Any show of hands? I thought there'd be more, but that's okay. As for me, I'm rolling with the punches of life. I started forming this idea of what I didn't want. I was a Division I athlete, 2 degrees, and absolutely no idea what I wanted to do. I realized I had dedicated my whole life to playing softball, but I wanted this life of flexibility and balance that being an attorney couldn't afford me. So here I am, summer of 2021, with no job lined up. I got on LinkedIn and I searched and I searched. And while I was searching, I reached back out to my mentor, Summer. I reached back out to her after 6 months of contemplating the opportunities. I was really looking for some type of supplemental income. I had no idea what was ahead of me, but I knew that the business would open me to relationship and stretch my brain in a new direction. So a little pivot here, leading up to June of 2021, I was using Halloumi Spa for about two years. I struggled badly with acne and scarring because of playing softball with face masks during the pandemic. So summer got me signed up in June. And to be completely honest, I wasn't sure what I was getting myself into. I was only 22 at the time, and I had a lot of questions about the business, and I was skeptical. But Summer's a family friend, so I said, hey, this opportunity must be pretty legit. And I'm confident that 99.9% of you have felt that same skepticism. So I started on Instagram, which is my main social platform and still is. I posted adventures and photos and started sharing my fashion and outfits. So including the products from New Skin was just a natural choice because it gave me results like no other on the market. So initially, my goal was to just have one person achieve similar results to mine. And as I continued sharing and engaging in meaningful conversations, I realized that these interactions with people were driving my sales. The key for me was in these conversations, which I rinsed and repeated. And these meaningful conversations have blossomed into some really, really beautiful relationships. So what was happening, and I didn't know it at the time, is something I like to call and always preach to my team is organic growth. So when I was asked to speak at Live, they said my topic would be recruiting with social media. So that had really forced me to sit down and think about my business and my team's growth. And some brainstorming on this organic growth, it can be broken down into two parts. And that first part is compounded consistency. And it may sound really simple, but look, I was an athlete, okay? A great example is when people say, you'll feel so good getting back into workouts for the first week or two. Complete BS, okay? That first week is tough. But as I kept going, I'm slowly seeing my body change, right? I'm getting some muscle memory, and it's the same with the business. Part two is a strong customer base. So let's dive in. At the start, I wouldn't consider myself very goal-oriented. I didn't even know what the business and the company could offer me. However, with the consistency and sales rolling in, the opportunities did too. I needed to not only take the first step, but continue to build my presence on social media. I wanted to use these photos here up on the slide because I showed up. I was filtered using the Lumi and I was nervous, but I showed up. And my tangible daily items to this day are to show up every day and make connections by talking about products and sharing about non-New Skin topics. And what this does is it allows me to build trust and becomes well-rounded in terms of topics to communicate with people on. 80 to 90% of the time, these conversations would convert that person into my customer. And continuing to nurture that relationship always highly increased my chances of recruiting and gave me opportunities to casually pitch, which I will revisit at the end. So I'm leaning into my consistency. I'm compounding it. Are you hearing me? Everybody awake out there? So potential customers, right? They need to know that we're invested in their best interests. It's our job to establish ourselves as someone who a potential customer or business partner views as a resource. So that's key number one for me in this business, compounded consistency. The second part of organic growth is customer base. So back around 2022, I had some of the most pivotal moments in my business. Excuse me, a year and a half in, I had two women come to me asking me about the business. One of them just had a newborn, so she's at home, and the second one is sitting out in the crowd, and they're two of some of my most fearless leaders. She was my customer for a while, and she asked me, how do I become a sponsor? And it was at that moment I realized, yes, I was enjoying this journey, but a strong customer base is my recruiting gateway to the business opportunity. If she's interested in joining my team without me asking, what qualities am I possessing? And showing through my consistency that made her become interested from a customer perspective. In addition, what strategies could I and should I be implementing to move the needle on my recruiting through my customer base? So let's focus on qualities. I know for one, I have fun sharing. For two, I'm resilient. Dry DMs and messages don't stop me, and no's don't stop me. And for three, I am confident in the work I am putting into my business. So let's revisit that. I am confident in the work I am putting into my business. The customer care, the white glove service, this prioritizes the customer satisfaction. And that satisfaction strengthens the relationship and opens the doors to recruiting conversations. So you may be thinking, they're your customers. Well, what are you saying to them? Business is all about our customers. Prioritizing them means leaving it up to them. And that includes the business. And that is how we strengthen the relationship. Keep conversations quick, casual, mutual, and easygoing. As a mentor, I keep humility close to my heart, but I am confident in knowing what I bring to the table and what this company brings to the table. We don't need to beg. We need to inspire. Not beg, inspire. And this is how it begins with you. Team Hawaii is growing. Excuse me. My grandmaster plan. My grandmaster plan to go to law school didn't work, but I think I did one better. I am now seeing the compounding effect of my consistency, staying the course to continue building relationships and trust. And through my customer base, I now have the honor of calling over 150 women my business partners. So recruit through social media. Let them know who you are. 3 years ago, I felt like I had absolutely zero options and zero direction. However, in committing myself to the process, I have witnessed more and more opportunities. So much so that my why to show up every day to run my business has changed. Now, if you didn't hear anything, I don't blame you. I have the attention span of a fly, and we had a long day yesterday. But if I can leave you with just two things this morning, two strong words on recruiting, they are consistency and customers. Take your first step and go all in.
Thanks, Stephanie. You guys, what an incredible lineup we've had this morning. Now, a couple of few main themes that I saw from Stephanie and Bree as they're talking about recruiting on socials. Number one, building relationships is important. Number two, showing up consistently is a must. Number three, sharing about other products than just Nu Skin helps build that trust. And that is why I'm so excited in the US. We are about to launch Nu Skin powered by Maisley, where all of you can go out and share about all the brands that you love, plus Nu Skin.
Love it.
Wow. Right? Now, up next, I don't know how we keep topping this, but we're going